Good morning. Welcome to a new session of video classes. In this particular class or session, I will discuss about a very important general topic which is known as the ozone, the Earth's umbrella, and its depletion. We know that this is very common and known to all the people. Ozone that is available in the atmosphere of the earth is a shield for the earth as far as the harmful radiation from the sun. Harmful radiation from the sun. This particular problem is noticed by the entire world during 1960s, 70s and 80s itself. And later this becomes a great problem, a great concern to the human being. Right. Actually, in this particular discussion, that is the ozone as the Earth's umbrella and its deflation, I want to discuss some interesting, important things related to the role of human being and the expectations of the human being as far as the prevention of the ozone umbrella is concerned. Right. In the very beginning itself, I want to discuss some things as far as this topic is concerned. Of course, it seems to be somewhat greedy or somewhat unhappy to the human being or the listeners. More ambitious civilization. What is more ambitious civilization? The civilization among the human society now becomes very prestigious, becomes very high. It goes to peaks. That's why I termed it as more ambitious civilization and unlimited comforts and luxuries. Unlimited comforts and luxuries of human beings became hazards to the existence of the on the earth. Actually, the present topic, that is the depletion of the ozone layer. Ozone layer is a natural shield to the atmosphere of the earth, existence of the earth from harmful rays that are coming from the sun. Yes, it is a natural umbrella. But the human activities are destructing this natural umbrella. What are those human activities, or what is the nature of the human being that leads to this kind of hazards or this kind of problem? This one, that is more ambitious civilization and unlimited comforts and luxuries for which a man is associated or habituated became hazards. I said that they are not problems, they are the hazards to the existence on the earth. Okay, I am totally confined to my statement because all these things became hazards to the existence on the earth. Why its impact is worse that destructing the why is okay, this is destructing the natural systems. The natural systems that are existing on the earth are the systems that will have equilibrium to each other on the earth are known as the natural systems. The phenomena means the different kinds of equilibriums and different kinds of to and fro flow of okay, so many things as far as the natural system okay are known as phenomena okay as far as my knowledge is concerned, and the processes, various natural processes that leads to so many things for the healthy and wealthy beautiful existence of this nature okay on the atmosphere and environment and atmosphere and environment. But this one, its impact is worse that destructing the natural systems, natural phenomena, and natural processes on the Earth's atmosphere and environment, and eventually very bad situations are experienced by all the creatures. Because of this one, not only the human being but also the other creatures okay, other creatures, plants, animals, etc. and etc. So many other, so all these things are experienced very bad situation, very bad situation. Okay, as far as this problem is concerned, that is the depletion of ozone layer. The depletion of ozone layer is only due to the human activity, only due to the more ambitious civilization and unlimited comforts and luxuries for which a human being is accustomed, of course, which becomes so hazardous to the existence of the earth. Okay, that is my concern as far as or my way of okay explanation or approach as far as this topic is concerned. Right. Okay. So now we have a lot of concern over human activity. Therefore, we know our activity itself already become very dangerous. Therefore, it is time to realize the natural way of life of man as defined in the creation. In the creation, there is a natural way of life to the animals, to the human being. Yes, animals are following their natural way of life strictly, but human being is totally deviated from the natural way of life. Okay, once upon a time, there is about 90% of natural way of life before 50 years or 100 years back. There, okay, this kind of hazards for existence are not encountered. Life is very happily going on. Okay, right. But now the thing is quite different because of what I said there. That is more ambitious civilization and unlimited comforts and luxuries. Okay. Now this is the deviated way of life of the man. Therefore, now it is time to realize the actual way of life of man as defined in the creation. Okay, if we realize and if we move towards such okay natural way of or the actual way of life, then this will become the solution, or this is the only solution for so many problems that we are encountering as far as the Earth's atmosphere is concerned. and our life and our existence is concerned. Right. Even though my words are very harsh and hard, these are all the truths. These are all the very truths. If you think about the lifestyle of human, okay, 50 years or furthermore, 100 years back, okay, no such situations are there. So many processes, natural processes are disturbed. Even seasons, not only seasons. If I go in that way, I have to list so many things, so many natural processes. All they are disturbed here because of the destruction of such natural processes. We are facing so many troubles as far as our existence and our life on this planet is concerned, along with the other creations. Okay, right. That's why I request the listeners to bear these harsh and hard words because these are the truths as far as the present situation is concerned. Right. Now let us go to the topic. First we will discuss about what is ozone. Okay, what is ozone umbrella? Why it is known as the ozone umbrella for the earth? What is meant by ozone depletion? What are the various things related to the knowledge related to the ozone layer and ozone depletion also? And finally, okay, what are the adverse effects and what is the responsibility of the human being? That's why let us okay slowly enter into the topic. Right? Ozone is a blue gas that is made of three oxygen atoms, O3, and it is created during the photolysis of oxygen molecules into individual atoms by ultraviolet sun radiations. Sun radiations possess all types of spectrum, and ultraviolet radiation of sun radiation, while they reach the stratosphere, where it photolysis, where these rays, okay, because of the phenomena of photolysis, oxygen molecules will be divided into oxygen atoms, and then later, okay, they will produce the ozone. They will produce the ozone. These individual atoms further react with atomic oxygen to form the ozone. In that way, ozone is generated as far as the stratosphere is concerned. This ozone layer is about 20 kilometers in depth. Okay. In the coming slides, I termed it as ozone ocean. Okay. Right. Now, this ozone layer is an umbrella or a blanket, a thick blanket over the surface of the earth at a height from about 20 kilometers to 35 kilometers, extended from 20 kilometers to 35 kilometers, which becomes an umbrella or a blanket in order to protect the earth from the harmful UV rays. Okay, the harmful UV rays. Right. Now, as far as the present discussion is concerned, okay, the present discussion is conveniently divided into what is on the following subtopics. That's why the aim of the presentation is a natural blanket or umbrella for the earth. What is the natural blanket? Ozone layer is said to be a natural blanket or umbrella for the earth, and it is the nature's gift. Right? How it is, we will discuss. Protection to the life on the earth from the UV radiation from the sun. Okay. Natural phenomena and natural chain as far as the ozone layer is concerned. The ozone layer is formed because of some natural phenomena and some natural chain reactions. Right. Ozone deflection. What is meant by ozone depletion? And what is meant by ozone hole? Reasons for ozone decline in the stratosphere. Okay. What are the reasons that are lying behind the ozone depletion? Just in the beginning, I said that very harshly that it is because of the human activity. Right? We will see all these things. Mechanism for the ozone depletion. What is the real mechanism for the ozone depletion? Bad threats to the life on the earth. How it becomes or how it results as a bad threats on the life on the earth. And preventive measures to stop the ozone drop. How to prevent the ozone drop? Okay, right. The prime need to restore its level and the role of human for healthy atmosphere and pleasant nature. This is very important where I want to pinpoint the things. That is, okay, the role of human being is very important. The role of human being is a prime need to restore the ozone level for healthy atmosphere and pleasant nature. Okay, that's why these are the main subtopics as far as the present the discussion is concerned. Right. Now, ozone shield, or it is nothing but a blanket, a thin blanket, or a natural umbrella to the earth. Right. Where it is, how it is. Ozone sphere in the atmosphere of the earth. Ozone sphere, I said that it is a ozone sphere. Actually, the stratosphere. Stratosphere is the next layer of the Earth's atmosphere from its surface. The first layer of the Earth's atmosphere is, okay, from the surface is troposphere. Next, stratosphere. Stratosphere is lies from 18 kilometers to 15 kilometers. 18 to 50 kilometers, that is the extension of stratosphere. In the stratosphere, from 18 kilometers to 35 kilometers, there is a ozone layer. There is a ozone layer. Okay, right. Containing relatively high concentrations of ozone molecules. This particular layer of depth from this particular layer extended from 18 kilometers to 35 kilometers consists of ozone molecules, and about 19% of the atmospheric ozone occurs in the stratosphere. 90% of the ozone that is available in the entire atmosphere of the earth is present in the stratosphere. Therefore, 90% of the ozone is available, okay, extend which is from 18 kilometers to 35 kilometers. In the stratosphere, the temperature of the atmosphere raises with increasing height. In the stratosphere, the temperature of the stratosphere increasing, okay, while we going to the more and more height or altitudes, latitudes, okay, altitudes. Actually, the temperature at the beginning of the stratosphere is minus 80 degrees centigrade, and it increases to 0 degrees centigrade while it goes to the upper boundary, that is the 50 kilometers. Right. This increase of temperature due to the absorption of solar radiation by the ozone layer. That is the very important thing. Why the temperature of the stratosphere increases? Because it is due to the absorption of solar radiation by the ozone layer. Okay, right. Solar radiation of wavelength less than 290 nanometers, including certain types of ultraviolet and other forms that could injure or kill most living things. What are these solar radiation that are absorbed by the ozone layer? The solar radiation that are absorbed by the ozone layer are wavelengths less than 290 nanometers, including certain types of ultraviolet rays and other forms. Okay, actually, okay, that could injure or kill most living things when they goes to the surface of the earth. When they goes to the surface of the earth, but they are not going to the surface of the earth. They are absorbed by the ozone layer. Right. This is one of the wonder in the nature and a natural contribution for the life on earth. I need not explain. This is the wonder, or this is the natural contribution to the life on the surface of the earth, and this phenomena is a sustained phenomena that is taking place at the height ranging from 18 kilometers to 35 kilometers, where the ozone is existing. Right. A natural threat and a beautiful solution of the creation. Okay. Coming of or the generation of generation of some harmful rays from the solar radiation, okay, through the solar radiation is a natural threat, but a beautiful solution is made by the creation in the ozone layer itself. That's why these radiations are not coming, they are absorbed by the ozone layer. Ozone layer does a shield, that's why it is known as the shield for the earth from the harmful radiation. From the harmful radiation. Okay. This ocean of ozone, I termed this one as the ocean of ozone, which is extending from 18 to 35 kilometers, nearly about a depth of 20 kilometers in the stratosphere. This absorbs ultraviolet radiation, and a continuous interaction of ultraviolet radiation with the ozone will take place. Absorption means some continuous type of interaction will take place, okay, with the ozone radiation. This continuous interaction of ultraviolet rays with ozone is nothing but a cycle of reaction. That is, oxygen converts into oxygen atoms, then converts into ozone, and then again converts into oxygen. It is a cycle reaction. This is the cycle, okay, continuous reaction with which, due to which the ultraviolet radiations are completely absorbed by the ozone layer. Therefore, the ozone, even it is heavier than, actually ozone is heavier than air. Ozone is heavier than air. Ozone is a poisonous gas and it is heavier than air. If ozone exists on the surface of the earth, it is very poisonous for the health. A little extent of ozone is available on the surface of the earth because of the vehicles and the industries. That also gives some sort of inconvenience for the human life and the life of the other beings. Right. And it is heavier. Even though it is heavier, the process of conversion of oxygen into oxygen atom and oxygen atom into ozone and ozone again into oxygen, it is a waving process or pulsing process, and because of the pulsing process or the waving process with the interaction with the ultraviolet rays, okay, that ozone waves that are doing this kind of things, okay, at that height will remain there itself, because they are not, this ozone is not static there, that is, the ozone layer is a dynamic layer there. That's why, because of the dynamism or because of dynamic action, the ozone can able to retain there itself, even though it is heavier than the, what this one, the air. That is very, very, very important thing that you have to remember. Okay. The absorption of ultraviolet rays increases the temperature of the stratosphere. The temperature of the stratosphere increases from minus 80 degrees centigrade to 0 degrees centigrade, okay, because of this kind of reaction. Right. What is the natural mechanism of this phenomena, the absorption of ultraviolet rays with the ozone? We will see in detail about this one for the knowledge of, okay, so many groups of the business. Right. In the stratosphere, oxygen molecules absorb ultraviolet photons of UVC, ultraviolet A radiation, ultraviolet B radiation, ultraviolet C radiation, and ultraviolet D radiation. Okay. Ultraviolet D radiation is, okay, ultraviolet D radiation is very strong radiation that will be stopped in the what is on thermosphere itself, right? Okay, ultraviolet C radiation and ultraviolet B radiation will enter into the stratosphere. Then the ultraviolet C radiation, whose wavelength ranges from 100 to 280 nanometers, okay, 280 nanometers breaks the oxygen atoms. Okay, that's why O2 when combined with or when they interacted with ultraviolet C radiation, a powerful radiation, okay, it splits up into two oxygen atoms, individual atoms. These three oxygen atoms then combines with oxygen molecule O2 to form the ozone molecule. Therefore, O plus O2 gives rise to O3. Right. Now, the ozone molecules in turn absorb the ultraviolet B component. I said that ultraviolet C component and ultraviolet B component, both the components will enter the stratosphere. Okay. C component is absorbed or utilized for the breaking of oxygen into oxygen atoms. Now the B component, okay, B component of ultraviolet radiations whose wavelength ranges from 280 to 330 nanometers wavelength, it will split the ozone into again oxygen. Therefore, 2O3 plus ultraviolet B radiation will give us 3O2. It means that now the ultraviolet B radiation can split ozone into oxygen. I hope you will understand. Ultraviolet C radiation splits the oxygen to oxygen atoms. And of course, oxygen atoms and oxygen molecules will produce the ozone. Now, ultraviolet B radiation again splits the ozone into oxygen molecules. That's why oxygen atom, then ozone again to oxygen molecule. A chain of reaction will take place because with the interaction of the oxygen with ultraviolet C component of radiation and ultraviolet B component of radiation. Thus, okay, both the C component and B component are completely utilized by the ozone there. Completely utilized by the ozone. Thus, it prevents this harmful radiation from entering into the Earth's atmosphere. Okay, Earth's atmosphere. Right. They are completely absorbed, or they completely, better to say it as utilized, okay, for such kind of chain reaction. Right? This process of oxygen atom, ozone and again oxygen is waving process. It's a pulsating process. It is a dynamic process. Okay. Right. That's why the ozone doesn't move down. Okay, even though it is heavier than the air. Okay. Right. This ozone is known as good ozone. The ozone that is present in the stratosphere extending from 18 kilometers to 35 kilometers is said to be a good ozone because it is, okay, preventing the bad radiations, very harmful radiations from the sun. That's why this ozone is said to be a good ozone. Okay, but if the ozone is available on the surface of the earth, it is not good. It is not good. Earth surface ozone is a bad ozone. Okay, as it is consumed there without coming to the earth surface, it is known as good ozone. But remember that ozone is a poisonous gas for living beings and heavier than air. Okay, that's why if ozone is available on the surface, it is no doubt it is a poisonous gas and its effects are very bad as far as our life is concerned. And some, okay, concentrations of ozone is produced by the vehicles and the exhaust gases of the factories. Okay, and this much of small amount is also causing so many defects, so many health problems, and so many biological defects, and so many other defects as far as the other creatures and the existence is concerned. Okay, that is, okay, small extent of dangerous thing. Right. What I said, the mechanism is again shown here. That is ozone formation, destruction, naturally from UV layers. Right. The first ozone destruction, first ozone formation and destruction. Ozone formation means oxygen divided into oxygen atoms. Okay. Oxygen atoms combined with O2 gives O3. Right. Now O3, it absorbs ultraviolet to B radiation and it splits again into oxygen. This was shown here with this diagram, and of course the same thing is again shown here. Okay, these are the ultraviolet radiations. Okay, the same process with a process. Okay, ultraviolet to how the ultraviolet to C component will split the oxygen and okay, then ultraviolet this oxygen atoms and oxygen molecules will combine to give the ozone, and now the ozone is formed, and this ozone is again splits up into again converts into oxygen. The whole process is again shown in this diagram, right? Now, what is ozone depletion and ozone hole? So far, I said that that ozone layer is a shield. It prevents all the harmful radiations. It absorbs all the ultraviolet B components and C components there itself. That's why no ultraviolet B components, C components are not coming to the surface of the earth that are originating from the sun, Right. Then what happened? Why this problem is there? Why there is a depletion of ozone? And what is meant by ozone hole? Ozone depletion simply means that a reduction of ozone quantity in the stratosphere which protects the earth from ultraviolet B rays and C rays. I said that there itself ultraviolet B rays and C rays are totally consumed by the ozone that is available there itself in order to perform a cycle of reaction. Now the thing is, if that quantity of ozone is disturbed or it is reduced, then if sufficient amount of ozone is not available, then ultraviolet B component, C component may enter into the Earth's atmosphere or the surface. Right? It means that there is some threat to the reduction of the ozone is taking place. Right? This threat is due to the human activity and industrial exhaust, which produces some harmful gases. It is the result of environmental degradation due to energy production and utilization. Okay, energy production and utilization is a continuous process that is taking place in many dimensions as far as our human society is concerned. This is causing environmental degradation. This environmental degradation produces harmful gases. These harmful gases are disturbing ozone quantity there. Okay. This was observed. Okay, actually, ozone depletion describes two types of observed phenomena right from 1970s. Two types of things that are observed by scientists. Okay, right from 1917. That is steady decline of about 4% per decade in the total amount of ozone in the Earth's stratosphere. It was observed that there is a steady decrease of ozone about 4% per decade for every 10 years in the stratosphere. Okay, right. And much larger springtime decrease in the stratosphere ozone around the Earth's polar regions. Okay, this as far as the Earth's polar region is concerned, the decrease of the ozone in the stratosphere, especially in the spring season, is very high, and this more decrease of ozone in the polar regions is known as ozone hole. Ozone hole. This phenomenon is ozone hole. The large decrease of ozone. It means that more or less ozone layer becomes very thin at the polar region was observed, and this is what is known as the ozone hole. Okay, right. These are the two major things that are observed experimentally by the scientists over the globe. Energy production and consumption industries gives exhaust gases that destroys ozone content in the ozone layer. This is known as ozone depletion. Okay, this is what is known as ozone depletion. Right. The main cause of ozone depletion and ozone hole is man-made chemicals and gases. Halocarbon refrigerants, solvents, propellants, and foam blowing agents. Chlorofluorocarbons. Foam blowing agents means chlorofluorocarbons. Halochlorofluorocarbons, halogens, referred as ozone depleting substances. Okay, ozone destructing or deflecting substances are these. What are these? Halocarbons. Halocarbon represents solvents, propellants, and foam blowing agents. Chlorofluorocarbons, hydrochlorofluorocarbons, and halogens are said to be ozone deflecting substance. It means that they are decreasing the ozone content there in the stratosphere. There are two regions in which the ozone layers are deflected. In the middle latitude, for example, over Australia, ozone layer is thinned. Okay, as far as the middle latitude is concerned, okay, over Australia, ozone layer becomes thin. This has led to increase of ultraviolet radiation reaching the earth. When the ozone layer becomes thin, it means that the sufficient ozone is not available there. Then the ultraviolet radiation will enter into the earth's surface. It is estimated about 5 to 9 percentage of thickness of ozone layer is decreased over that region. 5 to 9 percentage of decrease of ozone is decreased over that one. In atmospheric regions over Australia, Antarctica, ozone layer is severely reduced. Just now I said that. Okay, in the polar regions, especially in Antarctica, ozone layer is severely reduced as it is become very thin, very thin. Okay, it is known as the ozone layer. During the winter, the air over the Antarctica becomes extremely cold. Of course, it is a very natural thing. Okay, during winter season, the air over the Antarctica is very cold as the lack of sunlight. There is no sunlight, and reduces mixing of lower atmospheric air over the Antarctica with air outside region because of the lack of sunlight. Okay, it reduces the mixing of stratospheric air over the Antarctica with the other regions. Mixing may not take place. This reduction mixing is caused by the circumpolar vortex. Circumpolar vortex means a whirling mass of fluid or air. It means that because of reduction of mixing, a kind of whirling mass of air will be generated. Chemical reactions that takes place on on polar stratospheric clouds. PSC means polar stratospheric cloud particles. Because of this low temperature, because of the whirling of the air, polar stratospheric clouds will be formed. This polar static cloud sphere, in the stratospheric cloud spheres, some chemical reaction takes place which converts less reactive chlorine containing molecules to the more reactive form. Because of this situations, less reactive chlorine now becomes more reactive chlorine, and this will accumulates during the polar nights. This more reactive chlorine will accumulate during the polar nights, and also bromine and nitrogen compounds are also formed. This more reactive chlorine now interact with the ozone, and this will destructing the ozone layer there. When day returns, Antarctica in the early spring, sunlight breaks the molecular chlorine into chlorine atoms that can react with the destroy the ozone. Now the thing is, when day returns into the Antarctica, the early spring, during the early spring when the when sunlight comes, now this sunlight breaks the more reactive chlorine atoms into chlorine molecules, and now these chlorine molecules can react and destroy with the ozone. This is the actual situation that is taking place. Ozone destruction continues until the breakup of polar vortex, which usually takes place in the November. When November comes, then only the polar vortex will not take place. But until that one, because of the polar vortex, because of the interaction of sunlight with the more reactive chlorine, which converts into the chlorine atoms, and these chlorine atoms now interact with the ozone and destroy the ozone there. Therefore, more ozone is restricted over the Antarctica region. Okay, that's why that is what is known as the ozone hole. That is what is known as the ozone hole. Right. Now, what is the effect of this lack of ozone or the ozone layer? What is the thing? When sufficient ozone is not available in the ozone stratosphere, then ultraviolet B rays and C rays enters into the surface of the earth, enters into the or moves towards the surface of the earth, or it goes into the troposphere of the earth. Because of their penetration into the surface, towards the surface of the earth, it causes a lot of dangers, a lot of threats. It is the main cause for the global warming. Right? Do you understand my thing? Global warming is the effect of what is this one? Ozone depletion. Ozone depletion produces penetration of ultraviolet rays towards the surface of the earth. This will increase the temperature, and this is the main cause for the global warming. There are two causes for the global warming. One is ozone depletion and the other one is greenhouse effect. Okay, that's why this is one of the major cause for global warming. And global warming is a great threat for the existence. Increase of temperature because of this one, melting of polar caps, ice, increase of the water level, so many defects or threats for the number of creatures that are there inside the ocean and on the surface. That's why this is the major problem, or major cause for the global warming. And this produces skin cancers. They also damages the eye. Direct exposure to ultraviolet rays can lead to cataract problems, and photocataract is snow blindness. That is what is known as snow blindness. This damages the immune system. Very, very important. Ultraviolet rays also damages the immune system. Immune system is the fighting soldiers of our body and also the bodies of so many creatures. It will damage the immune system. Aging of skin, exposure of UV rays can lead to the photo allergies that results in the outbreak of rashes in fair-skinned people. Rashes will come. In human, exposure to human rays can also lead to the difficulties in breathing. It also gives breathing problem, and chest pain and throat irritations and also affects the lung function. UV rays affects life forms too, that is life cycles too. Declining number of amphibian species. It will decrease the number of amphibian species. It affects them in every stage of their life cycle. UV rays can affect every stage of their life cycle. Ultraviolet rays also have adverse effects on the marine ecosystem. Very, very important. Marine ecosystem is a large ecosystem. This huge ecosystem is also affected by ultraviolet rays. UV rays also affect the plants. UV radiation can alter the time of flowering in some plant species also. It changes the time of flowering. It can also directly affect the plant growth by altering the psychological and developmental process of the plants. Aquatic life is also at a great threat. Because the basis of the food chain will be changed because of the ultraviolet radiation exposure. Ultraviolet radiations also affect the plant growth, reducing agriculture productivity. It also reduces the productivity of the agriculture. and it also affects the marine ecosystem. It affects on the biogeochemical cycle. Marine marine ecosystem is a very huge ecosystem. It affects this one and biochemical cycle also. Right. These are all the very dangerous threats. Actually, that is now presently also there as far as the ultraviolet radiation is concerned. The cause of this threat. What the cause of this threat? This is okay. This global decrease in stratospheric ozone is due to the raising level of chlorine. Just now I said that it is because of the raising level of chromin and bromine in the stratosphere. Okay, from the manufacturing and releasing of CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons and other halocarbons. Chlorofluorocarbons and other halocarbons are producing chlorine and bromine atoms which will goes to or which will raises to the stratosphere, and there they will interact with the ozone. Halocarbons are produced by the industry for a variety of uses, such as halocarbons are generated produced by refrigerators, so air conditioners and large chillers. Okay, they are produced by propellants for aerosol cans, blowing agents for making plastic foams, firefighting agents, solvents for dry cleaning, and okay, degreasing. These are all various activities due to which halocarbons and chlorofluorocarbons are generated. Chlorofluorocarbons and halocarbons in turn produces chlorine and bromine, and this chlorine and bromine gas will goes to that level, and there okay some activity will take place, and this activity reduces the the ozone. The other causes are unregulated rocket launching research is also one of the major causes for the depletion of the ozone layer. And one estimation says that if the unregulated rocket launching researches are not controlled properly, okay, huge loss of ozone layer will take place by 2050. That's why this is also one of the causes. Nitrogen compounds such as NO2, N2 are also highly responsible for the depletion of the ozone layer. And some natural causes are also there, that is sunspots, stratospheric winds, some winds that are taking place in the stratosphere, and the volcanic eruptions. Volcanic eruptions also produces the gas that will goes to that region, which destruct the ozone. That's why these are the major causes for the threat of ozone depletion. Right. How ozone is destructing there by these gases, by the human-made gases. We will see very clearly about that one. I said that chlorine and bromine are disrupting the ozone layer there. How? What is the actual mechanism? Right, substances such as chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs and other do not directly destroy ozone. Okay, so chlorofluorocarbons doesn't directly disturb ozone. First they undergo photolysis, forming hydrogen chloride. First hydrogen chloride is generated, or chlorine nitrate molecules that do not react with ozone directly. Okay, first they will produce hydrogen chloride. Right. This slowly decomposes, giving a small number of chlorine atoms. Now these hydrogen chloride decomposes and are and produces a small number of chlorine atoms and chlorine monoxide ClO molecules that catalyze the destruction of the ozone. Let us see chlorine that is formed. Chlorine, when combines with oxygen, ozone, it forms ClO plus O2. Okay, chlorine monoxide. This chlorine monoxide again combines with what this one? Oxygen atom. It forms chlorine and oxygen. What is the dangerous reaction here? It is chlorine, actually chlorofluorocarbons, okay, First produces hydrogen chloride. This hydrogen chloride and chlorine nitrate molecules produces the chlorine atoms or chlorine atoms. Now the chlorine atoms interact with ozone, produces oxygen and chlorine monoxide. This chlorine monoxide again combines with oxygen atoms, produces again one more chlorine and oxygen. It means that in this reaction, one chlorine, when reacts with ozone, again it comes out. Again it is again coming out from the second phase of the reaction. Second phase of the reaction. That is a very dangerous situation. Okay, the chlorine is not consumed there. It is destructing the ozone and it is again coming out. Right. That's why chlorine monoxide ClO plus O3 gives rise to chlorine plus 2 oxygen. The net effect, what is the net effect? O3 plus O is equal to 2O2. O3 plus O is equal to 2O2. In that way, the ozone is destructing. Ozone is destructing. Ultimately, the ozone is converting into oxygen by means of chlorine, by means of interaction with chlorine. But the problem is again the chlorine molecule is coming as a product. The chlorine atom acts as a catalyst. It means that as it is again coming out, it is said to be a catalyst. It is not consumed in the reaction. Very, very important. It is not consumed in the reaction. So it destroys thousands of ozone molecules before it disappears. Therefore, it is destroyed in thousands of ozone molecules. Okay, before it disappears. The bromine atom is even more destructive than chlorine. If bromine atom is available, that is also more destructive. Okay, its rate of destruction is 10 to 100 times more when compared with the rate of destruction of the chlorine. Due to this, ultraviolet B radiation found insufficient amount of ozone. Okay, insufficient. We have to combine these two things. Okay, insufficient amount of ozone, and hence as insufficient amount of ozone is there in the stratosphere for ultraviolet B radiation, they enters into the troposphere and reaches the surface of the earth. Okay. This is the actual mechanism how the ozone is destructing by the chlorine and bromine, which are reaches there because of the human activity and because of the gases released by the human activity, that is the chlorofluorocarbons. Right. The same thing is, of course, excellently shown here how this chlorine monoxide will combines with the oxygen atom, and how the chlorine will act as a catalyst, and how ultimately the chlorine is again formed. Right. This is the chlorine is again generated in this reaction. Right. Now, now this is about the way with which the ozone is depleted there and ultraviolet B rays are entering into the surface. Okay, and I said that this was registered and this was observed during 1970s and 80s itself, and internationally, international leaders of the different countries, are aware of this one, and some activities and some agreements come into force in order to prevent the ozone. During 1970s and 1980s, the international community became increasingly concerned that ozone depleting substances, ODS means ozone depleting substances, would harm to the ozone layer. Right? In 1985, Vienna Convention for the Protection of Ozone Layer appealed the international cooperation to this issue. Okay, a convention takes place at Vienna in the year 1985. Appealed the entire countries on the globe, to cooperate about this issue. Okay, and this particular convention made some framework. This cooperation resulted in signing of Montreal Protocol. This Montreal Protocol, okay, is happened on in the year 1987, okay, where so many about 194 or 193 countries are participated and they signed on the agreement in order to reduce the fluorocarbon gases and to prevent the ozone layer. The original Montreal Protocol signed in 1987 was the first step in the international efforts to protect stratospheric ozone. Under the original Montreal Protocol agreement in 1987, developed countries were required to begin phasing out. Phasing out means reducing chlorofluorocarbons in 1993 and achieve 20% of reduction relative to the 86. Okay. They are supposed to reduce the generation of these harmful gases by an amount of by a reduction of 20%, okay, by 1993 when compared with 1986. And of course, so again the consumption should be reduced 50% by 1994. Okay, in addition to this one, developed countries are also requested to freeze their production and consumption of halogens. Okay, halogens. Okay, the developed countries are required to freeze their production and consumption of the halogens. Right. After Montreal Protocol was signed, okay, the new data that was shown that there is a worst situation about the ozone layer. It means that the ozone layer depletion is very high. In 1992, the parties to the protocol decided to alter the terms of 1987 agreement to end the production of halogens by 1994 and CFCs by 1996. Okay, yes, there is very worst situation is encountered. Okay, this is the Montreal Protocol is what is this one? It is altered and it was said that it is better to okay, it is better to control the halogen production by 1994 and CFC production by 1996 itself. Right. And later on, okay, depends upon the situation. So some other agreements are came into force 1992. It is Copenhagen Agreement, and again in 1996 Montreal Amendment, Beijing Amendment, and Kigali Agreement in 2016. Okay, in order to reduce the total production, in order to stop the total production and consumption of hydrofluorocarbons. Hydrofluorocarbons. Okay, at this what this one at this stage. Okay, that's why these are all the some very important measures that are made by the by globally. Globally means the heads of different countries in order to reduce or in order to control or in order to stop these bad gases to protect the ozone layer. Right. Now the thing is, very important thing is, the main conclusion is this one. Okay, right. Globally, some preventive measures are taking place. Of course, no doubt it is uh, uh, okay. It is desirable and it is very needed there. But that reduction of those gases purely depends upon the human activity. The role of individual to preserve stratosphere is very important. Role of individual to preserve the stratosphere means okay, they have to change their lifestyle, their unlimited. Okay, in the beginning itself that the okay, their unlimited. What is this one? The uh, unlimited luxuries and comforts and ambitious civilization. Okay, this causes or this okay causes consumption of so many things. consumption of undesirable things. When these consumption of undesirable things are stopped, then what? That is what is known as the role of individual. Then the stratospheric ozone umbrella will be enriched and reaches its original status or stature. Okay. That's why this is most important thing. Okay. Whatever the preventive measures that are taken by the heads of the countries or the society of the globe purely depends upon the the role of human, the ambitions of the human. The thing is, what are the various things that we have to follow at our level, which ultimately leads to the a big role. That is, first one, discourage from using pesticides, chemical pesticides. Very, very important. Chemical pesticides are used very irregularly, not in a proper way also, not in a proper direction also, not in a proper quantities also. That is very, very important thing. Okay, we need natural pesticides. We have to discourage the chemical pesticides. Next, minimize the use of vehicles. Very interesting thing. Okay, vehicles. You know, I need not explain. In case of some group of people on this globe, they are having every individual is having more than one vehicle. Some group of people, and each and every individual is individually using vehicle. That's why number of vehicles on the road are increasing. That's why we have to minimize the use of vehicles. The vehicles emit large amounts of greenhouse gases that leads to the global warming and ozone depletion. Therefore, what we have to do is limit the number of vehicles on the road. Very, very important line. Limit the number of vehicles on the road. We can able to do this one. Recently, sharing of vehicles. This is nothing but limit the number of vehicles on the road. Right. Utilize environmentally friendly cleaning products. Very important. Cleaning products. The human being is accustomed with very very free way of doing things. Therefore, he is using some cleaning products which are very harmful. We have to use eco-friendly cleaning agents. Prohibit the use of harmful nitrous oxide. Actually, nitrous oxide that are used in some food product companies and other things are actually needed to prohibit because it is very dangerous. Replace halon based fire extinguishers with other using foam. We have to replace halon based fire extinguishers with other using foam. Don't buy refrigerators or ACs that uses CFC as refrigerant. It means that the refrigerators and the AC equipment that uses CFC as refrigerant should not be used. They should not be produced also. They are banned to produce. Then don't use cleaning solvents containing CFC or ammonia. Very important. If you use cleaning solvents containing ammonia and other things, of course we will generally think that the process will take place very rapidly, but this is very harmful. Do not use sprays and objects made up of plastic foams. Very important. Products that release chlorofluorocarbons such as cosmetics, air sprays, room refresheners should be avoided. Okay. See, these are all related to our life. They are all unnecessary things that we are using. There are so many natural air refresheners are there in our environment. Actually, we have to use them, such to use them, not this chemical room freshness, air sprays and cosmetics. And ultimately, the other one is burning of plastic and rubber compounds should be avoided. This is also one of the very bad thing that we will follow. Everything we will burn that is aware, that is uh, uh, okay, stored or that is loaded by the side of the roads, which contains plastic materials and rubber materials. When the plastic and rubber are burned, very bad gases, and these gases containing the chlorofluorocarbons will reach us the stratosphere ozone layer. That's why this is the what is one the actual role that should be played by each and every individual, which is strictly related to his lifestyle. Therefore, if the man goes towards the natural way of lifestyle, natural compounds or natural agents or natural materials for different usages, okay, and the natural way of lifestyle, then then okay, these things doesn't arises, these materials doesn't arises. When these materials doesn't arises, so then what will happen? Okay, okay, no question of chlorofluorocarbons, and chlorofluorocarbons and halofluorocarbons are reduced to a large extent. Therefore, what this one, the ozone layer depletion will be stopped. Right. Now the thing is, actually, I want to tell one thing. Because of the measures taken by the international society, recent studies says that the ozone depletion is slowly decreasing. This is this is a good news as far as the human society is concerned. The measures that are taken by the international society, okay, gives some good result, that the depletion of ozone is not taking place at the present rate. The rate of depletion is slowly slowing down. It means that okay, ozone sources or ozone quantity is again increasing, again slowly increasing. If it increases to the optimum level, that is required for UV, ultraviolet, B rays and C rays, then the entire thing will be totally solved. Okay, that's why positive things are taking place, but we have to follow this one. We have to think about these materials and our lifestyle. These materials are totally connected to our lifestyle, right? The role of individual is highly needed. I need not tell again to this one. Why this is? This is to protect the ozone layer rather than the actions and plans. Actions and plans are made by the international community, but individual has to play a major role. It is our life. It is actually related to our life and the existence. It is totally related to the existence on the globe. It is related to the survival of the globe. This is related to survival of the okay human existence and the existence of other creatures. That's why we should be bothered about the okay ozone depletion, and we should do okay move towards the ozone prevention. Ozone prevention, right? The beauty of our mother, the earth, is okay is not described in words. It is such a beauty. You know, various spots on the surface of the earth. Okay, when you visit the various spots on the surface of the earth, you feel that you are not on the earth, you are on the heaven. You are on the heaven, the Swarga, because such a beautiful planet the earth is. But the beautiful planet of the earth is now under a major threat of the what this one ozone depletion and its adverse effects. Adverse effects. Therefore, by the way of by the direction of prevention of the ozone, we can able to enrich our earth. This is possible only with the enrichment. Okay, we can able to enrich the earth with the natural lifestyle. Natural lifestyle, the lifestyle that is defined by the creation to the human being. That is what is known as the natural lifestyle. Just in the beginning, I said that okay, the natural lifetime of the animals and the birds are okay are taking place as usually. They are following their natural lifestyle. We are not following our natural lifestyle defined by the creation. We are totally deviating by our natural lifetime as defined by the creation. Okay, this deviation results so many things. What I shown in the first slide itself, which are the words that are very hard to you, but even though they are hard, okay, this is the actual thing that is taking place. Therefore, man has to move in the right direction, or at least he has to choose, or he has to realize about the natural lifestyle that is defined by the creation. If he moves towards that natural lifestyle, consumption and usage of such materials, the materials that are discussed, they are not okay arises. When such materials are not arises, no question of depletion of ozone, and the earth will be again enriched. Okay, right. This is about my ambition and of course my interest as far as this discussion is concerned. Thank you. See you in the next class.